This video is going to give you some tips for shooting brief introductory videos for cover lessons. So it's nice to shoot a little introductory video because it establishes a bit of a personal contact with the students. It's as if their teacher is introducing the class to them instead of maybe they come in and they read some instructions that you've left and just get started working. It's a really nice way for the students to kind of connect with you virtually before they get into your lesson. So it lets you kind of welcome them to the class, set any expectations for the class or goals that they should have completed by the end of the class, and to give them any specific instructions for how they should be behaving or working throughout the lesson. It's also nice for the cover teachers to be able to see that and get some idea of what the class expectations are for that lesson. So when you want to record the video, I recommend for introduction videos, keep them to maybe 1 or 2 minutes max, because you want the kids to watch it, just see your face, hear your voice, get some instruction, and then start working. So first thing you want to think about when you shoot the introductory video is the setup and the environment. So you can certainly use your laptop camera to record this. I recommend sitting a little bit back, so if you are someone that speaks with your hands like I'm doing right now, they can see your hand movements, fully see your face. You want to really worry also about lighting. You want the environment to be well lit. One common mistake, for example, is if you are in a room with windows, you don't want to sit in front of a window and then record the video, because the light coming from the back, from your back, is going to make your face in shadow. So basically, you're not going to see my face very well because I'm backlit. Okay, so you want to make sure that you turn the camera to where the light source is hitting your face, not coming from behind you. So you'll see a big difference when I simply shift around to the other side of this table. My face is much more well lit and easy to see. So once you get that set up, you'll also want to think about, well, what am I going to say? Before you start shooting the video, I would recommend writing a short outline, maybe just big bullet points of things you want to talk about in the introduction, but don't write a full script, because it's going to be a lot of work, and honestly, you probably won't stick to the script anyway, and if you get off the script, you're more likely to want to start over. So just have an outline, much like this one, just big bullet points. Write them nice and big, maybe with the marker, so you can easily glance down quickly and see them as you're recording the video. If you write too small, it's going to be hard, and you're going to be kind of squinting and looking off camera. So one thing you'll notice is it's much more effective if you look directly into the camera. So the camera is actually right above your screen, and there should be a little green light next to it if it's recording. So as unnatural as it seems, you want to look into that little black circle, because when the students view your video, it's going to look like you're looking directly at them. Most of us have a tendency to look at the screen when we record, and you'll see right away it's much less natural. I'm looking down. When we talk to people, we look them in the eye. So you'll want to focus on that little camera as much as possible, unless, of course, you're reading off the screen or you're glancing down to look at your outline. So one of the biggest things you can do to help yourself quickly record these videos is how you deal with mistakes. Okay, so if you make a mistake, if you flub a word, it's best just to leave that little mistake in there and just quickly correct yourself. It makes it a little bit more natural, and it saves you a lot of time trying to edit and reshoot parts of the video. So if it's a little mistake, I recommend just leaving it in there. Okay, but if you make a big mistake, I highly recommend you don't stop recording. The tendency is going to be stop recording and start over. Well, if you've already gotten a minute and a half in, you're now having to start from the very beginning. Then you may forget things that you said the first time, and it's just going to be a lot more work. So the best way to deal with the bigger mistakes is to keep the recording going, but essentially give yourself a visual indicator that you've made a mistake, and then just correct it. So for example, if I said, or maybe I'm thinking of this long awkward pause and I want to cut this part out. What I might do is just raise my hand, so when I'm looking back at the video, I see I've got my hand raised. That means from that point on, I've corrected, okay? And I want to cut the part out right before that. So I might say something like, your assignment is due on November 25th. Oh, wait, that's not the right date. Okay, don't start the video over. Just raise your hand. Reset. Okay, guys, your assignment is due on November 29th. Okay, now that you've corrected it, you can easily see from the raised hand when you look at the video, okay, this is the part I want to keep. I want to clip this part out before I finalize the video. So it's better just to keep going, correct yourself without stopping, and then just cut out the part that's the mistake. That'll make it much easier. You'll get the video done much sooner. And it's really frustrating to stop and re-record every single time you make a little mistake. So we'll show how to do some simple editing of the video in part 2.